Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a really important study that could change how we detect dementia. We're going to unpack a new approach for finding this disease way earlier than we do now. And, with all the new treatments starting to come out, figuring this out is more critical than it's ever been.
So let's just jump right in. This is the absolute core of the problem with dementia. I mean, how do you spot a disease that's basically designed to hide in plain sight? Its first signs are so subtle. Forgetting a name, a little bit of confusion. These are things that are so easy to miss during a fast-paced 15-minute doctor's visit. The symptoms just blend into the noise of everyday life, which makes catching it early almost impossible.
And the scale of this problem, it's just staggering. The data is really clear on this. More than half, 50%, of older adults who have dementia never get a formal, timely diagnosis from their main doctor. We're talking about millions of people who could be getting support but aren't, all because the system we have just isn't built to find them.
And look, this is way more than just some academic exercise. This massive detection gap means we're missing a huge opportunity to help people, to improve their lives. Now that we have therapies that can actually slow the disease down, finding patients early isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's an absolute must. And that's exactly why researchers set up this huge clinical trial to find a real practical solution. So this study, which was published in JAMA Network Open, was just designed so well. They set up this head-to-head competition with over 5,000 patients across 9 different clinics. The goal was to see what could actually move the needle on diagnosis rates out in the real world, not just in a lab. The researchers created this really fascinating three-way race. Group 1 was just the control group, business as usual. Group 2 gave doctors a powerful AI tool to help them out. And Group 3, they tested a hybrid model. They combined that same AI with direct feedback from the patient. The big question was, which one of these would actually work? Okay, so the first tool they used was called the Passive Digital Marker, or PDM. The best way to think of it is like a digital detective. It's an AI that's working silently in the background, constantly sifting through years and years of a patient's health records. It's looking for hundreds of tiny clues, everything from prescriptions to lab results that when put together might point to a risk of cognitive decline. The second tool is just beautifully simple. It's called the Quick Dementia Rating System, or QDRS. It's a super fast 10-question survey that the patient fills out themselves. It literally takes less than 3 minutes, and what it does is bring the patient's own voice, their own experience with their memory, right to the doctor's attention. All right, so the stage was set. The researchers hit go, and then they waited a full year to see which of these strategies was going to come out on top. So let's get to the results. So after that year was up, it was the moment of truth. The research team crunched all the numbers to answer one simple question. Did any of these new approaches actually lead to more people getting a new official dementia diagnosis compared to just standard everyday care? And the results were, well, they were pretty stunning. The AI-only group, the one with just the digital detective, it actually did worse than doing nothing at all. But the hybrid model, the one combining the AI alert with the patient's survey, that one had a significantly higher diagnosis rate. We're talking 15.4% compared to just 12.4% for the usual care group, a clear winner. Let's just put a really fine point on that. When you do the math, combining that patient survey with the AI algorithm boosted the odds of a doctor making a new dementia diagnosis by 31%. That's not a small number. That is a massive improvement over the status quo. So this brings us to maybe the most interesting question of the whole study. Why did the combination work so well? And maybe more importantly, why did this powerful, sophisticated AI tool completely fall flat when it was left on its own? The study's most surprising finding was this. Just giving a doctor an alert from an algorithm did not change their behavior. To a busy clinician, it was just one more pop-up on their screen, another notification to click away. It was just more digital noise in a day that's already completely overwhelming. It just didn't have the context to make them act. The researchers themselves think the secret ingredient here was trust. Imagine you're a busy doctor. You get this abstract alert from an algorithm. It's really easy to ignore, right? But what happens when that alert is paired with a survey filled out by the very patient sitting in front of you? Suddenly, that abstract risk becomes a real human story. And that is something that demands action. So the winning formula turned out to be this really simple two-step dance. First, the AI, the PDM, works silently in the background, flagging a potential risk based on a mountain of data. And then the patient's own voice, through that quick survey, validates that flag. It gives the doctor the confirmation and, really, the confidence they need to take that next step. It's this perfect partnership between machine intelligence and human experience.
So, what does this all mean for the future of brain health? This is so much more than just an interesting research finding. This could be a real turning point. What this gives us, for the very first time, is a proven, scalable way to screen for early dementia that doesn't add a ton of work to primary care clinics that are already stretched their limit. This is a practical blueprint that a health system could start using tomorrow to find those millions of undiagnosed patients. Now, if you're a leader in the life sciences space, the takeaways here are crystal clear. First, the future isn't just AI. It's hybrid tools that pair algorithms with what patients are telling you. Purely algorithmic tools are going to hit a wall, a trust wall. Second, this model solves a huge business problem. It creates the patient identification funnel that all these new dementia therapies desperately need to be successful. And finally, getting patients to engage with simple digital tools, that's not a small thing anymore. It's a core competitive advantage.
And that really leaves us with a powerful final thought. This study wasn't just about dementia. It's a lesson for the entire field of digital health. It really suggests that the future of AI in medicine might depend just as much on the patient's own voice as it does on how smart the algorithm is.